Okay then. Now, all systems ready? Let's get going. So, let's see. I hope the music's not too loud versus everything, but I think we should be totally fine here. Okay. Now, Defiler Knight. So the character itself is already pretty finished up. Let's give it a ride and see what it does already. I mean, we got artifacts already equipped on them. 2 trade slots left here. I think they are all fused, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Okay. Good stuff. So let's give them a little bit of a test ride and see what they do for now. So, no instabilities first, because I have no clue how this team works right now. Mama. Okay, nice realm quest. Okay. Hellforge. Now that sounds like chaos. Okay, so let's see. They immediately suffer quite a lot of damage. That's good. I got a macro. Cast Affliction. Cast more Affliction. Cast more Affliction. Okay, so seems like there's not much more. Let's see. Macro is that. If this creature is not defending, cast Affliction. I think it's this very creative little macro. So, what's Affliction? Enemies are afflicted with a random debuff. That seems to be, like, pretty good, actually. Okay. So far, my enemies are taking a ton of damage right at the beginning of the fight. That's looking pretty good so far. Wow. Okay, there. It's working out a lot better than I thought. I was just checking the setup lately, and I figured there's a lot of room for improvement there, but I already see that. Wow, it does do a pretty good job already on its own. I mean, sure, this is no instability, nothing. We're going to set this up into an instability, and then we're going to see what we got here. Just waiting a little bit also for the audience to gather. But let's see. Why do I deal so much damage? Is this one of my character perks? Unholy Knight. You're a knight there. After my creatures afflict enemies with a debuff, they deal damage equal to 80% of their lowest stat. Now that's what I instrumentalized here. Okay, I mean, sure, this ain't anything too big here yet. This is no instability at all, but it's already a pretty decent damage output. Okay, I'd say let's grind a card and see what'll happen here. I hope I'll get a card. So one thing that I already see is that I should be aiming for some stat increase. If my damage is 80% of my lowest stat increase is interesting after all. Okay. Are you done then sometime in the near future with spellcasting deer salamander enemies? Okay, here we go. I just got randomly exploded. Okay. Maybe we won't farm a card here. So... how did they kill... how did they die, actually? Conditions. They got just give by those conditions. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's check out the perks. So, weak debuff is more effective. Enemies have less health, less intelligence, less everything. I basically remove a lot of layers of stats here. Basically everything. Enemies take 10% more damage for each debuff they have. So we want debuffs and we want them all. Got it. Enemies buffs last only one turn. Cool. Enemies with feared have a chance to lose their turns, so feared is really interesting. We ignore shelled and barrier. Nice. Infirmity, we got 3 debuffs from the get-go. Potency of stat decrease is increased. Debuffs last forever. Enemies deal less damage for each debuff they have. Oh yeah, so maxing out the diversity of debuffs is extremely valuable for this build. Vulnerable debuffs are more effective. Okay. Potency of stat increases is decreased. Sure. And if I do a debuff, I deal damage equal to 80% of my lowest stat. And at the start of battle, everybody of the enemy side loses health. Okay, this on itself is not too fascinating. So what do we have here? So, stat decrease on defend and provoke, and stat decrease on spellcast on the enemy side. Why is that appealing? This is no debuff. I don't know if I really want to keep that part. This is not really synergistic with my strategy. It sounds nice because it drains more stats, but I don't know. Not a big fan yet. After this creature dies... oh yeah, Pandemonium Rebirth. Pandemonium Rebirth is massive. After an enemy attacks, this creature reduces all enemies' attack by 20%. Okay, more stat decrease. Well, okay, I mean, at the end of the day, it does make sense my stat decreases are extra mighty. After an enemy loses stats, this creature deals 50%. Ah, okay, now we're talking business. We're dealing damage with the stat drain. And at the start of battle, my creature's stats are set equal to the average of all their stats. Yeah, that's to make my lowest stat as mighty as possible. It's actually a really neat trick. At the start of this creature's turn, it afflicts enemies with a random debuff. I don't know. It feels mediocre. It does synergize really well with my strategy, but at the same time, it's a trait for something rather simple. I don't know. Probably gonna replace that. So at the start of each enemy's turn, this creature afflicts them with a random debuff. Now that's something more appealing. So whenever an enemy takes a turn, he automatically gets one. Okay, my creatures deal 10% more damage, and enemies deal less damage for each enemy that is afflicted with bleeding. Oh yeah, that's massive. Like, that's the one you used for Gonforian? The automaton? Yeah, okay. Well, probably gonna keep it. I mean, it is a foolproof way to spread debuffs. Probably these dragons are less appealing. I don't know. This one feels very conditional. This one feels very, very conditional. Defend and provoke and cast spells. I don't know. Let's see. I like that one with the bleeding because this is 60% more damage and 60% less damage if everybody gets bleeding. So, after my creatures apply a debuff, they apply an additional debuff. I like that. Enemies with Cursed take more damage from this debuff. Okay, that feels very random. That feels very, very random. This is probably one part that I'll take out. And enemies start the battle with bleeding. I am rolling Affliction here, and this is the spell that my critters are right now casting by default. So, at the start of each enemy's turn, this creature has a chance to afflict it with Confused. I don't know, it's only 20% chance, but Confused is mighty. Probably a good one. Definitely like it more than the dragons, you know? I feel as if the dragons are somewhat a little bit gimmicky here. I mean, sure, damage on stat loss sounds nice, but in reality, I think it doesn't deal much damage. I think this whole mechanic here basically eats up 4 of my trait slots that I could use, for example, to maybe increase all of my stats. Who knows? Let's see. Probably gonna work on the on those dragons here. So enemies deal less damage and take more damage for each debuff. Yes, absolutely yes. Definitely gonna keep that no matter what. This is so synergistic with my strategy. This creature can't cast spells manually, but can equip 3 extra spell gems. It's the generosity one. I don't know. Do I really need that as a fuse? I think here I can change up something as well. I think this ain't really necessary. I mean, it's nice, sure thing, but I don't think it's that vital. Okay, so we got plenty of room to build with. Nice. But altogether, it pretty much worked out decently so far. So let's see, sort by race. Now, let's first check out the avatars that I got. You know, I got a lot of them new. And I'm not done with the list yet, but probably I'll get something here. After a creature gains or loses stats, its allies gain or lose. Okay. Cockronox for sure not. Aurum, no. Azeral, no. After my creatures take damage from an attacker's spell. No. No. No, definitely not. So... it doesn't look good. After this creature damages an enemy, it steals their buffs and minions and gives them its debuffs. Yeah, well, no. It's not really synergistic with most of the stuff that I got here. So mainly, I'd love to have some stat gaining mechanic that would work somehow on a basis of spreading conditions. I know that sounds unrealistic, but you know, it's always important to have a wish in your mind to have a chance to find what you're looking for. So let's see what we're if I'll find something that I want to have. So I mean, basically so far I'm lacking a way of scaling in this build. This is definitely something that I realized. I'll either scale via traits or via spells. I can choose how I want to do this, but I think I have to do something. Okay. But I'm totally open to your chat if you guys got some idea. Tox Dweller, now that's Bomb. If you guys got some idea what we could use there. I feel like the crafters that share 15% of their artifact stats are really good combined with the one that makes the artifact stats. Well, but that's not really synergistic with what I do here. Yeah, I know that you love the smiths and crafters. You will be happy to see me building a trickster then, because if I remember correctly, the trickster had perks that interacted strongly with artifacts. Probably there I will be finally using some smiths. I'm looking for something that interacts more directly with conditions. There has to be something. There has to be something. After my creatures are healed. What about healing? I didn't see any sustain in my build. This is problematic. Spell main. Specters. At the start of each enemy's turn, this creature decreases their lowest stat by 25%. Now that's not interesting for me. Now, the Spectres would be a much more interesting option for stat decrease than the Dragons, because this is something that I control. Nothing that I have to wait that the enemy will do. Okay. After this creature gains stats, enemies lose 25% of the same stat. This is a fun one. But, well, fun. Not super good. So, Sparktails are about damage reflection. Soul Flares, no. Snap Traps, no. Smog, well, these are all about poison. Let's check them out, though, because they interact with debuffs, so... Probably I can figure something out. Does it also work on max HP gains? Reducing max HP. Well, I don't think so. Max HP are most of the time excluded. Or that's at least what I think right now. So, your creatures start battle with poison. Two creatures recover health from poison instead of taking damage from it. Okay. Well... I don't know. I really want to have that. That doesn't sound too synergistic, honestly. I don't know which specialization would work around poison, but I don't feel like I am that dude. Jiroi, my cat, is fine. So this creature always has poison. After this creature takes damage from poison. What the heck? Are you done now, dear? This creature always has curse. This is the same weirdness here. Okay. Buffs. No shadows. Oh, fear. Well, let's check that out. Enemies with fear deal less damage with attacks. Okay, that's powerful. Okay. This one I do like, though. I'll summon that thing. Just to get the idea. You know, the more use I get out of the debuffs, I think, the better. Seraph, definitely not. Shambler. Now, the Shamblers are all about utilizing Blight. Not exactly what I'm utilizing most. Satyrs, definitely not. Okay, interesting thing. Star, nope, definitely not. So, Salamanders. When my creatures cast a spell due to a salamander trait. No. After my creatures defend or provoke, take damage, or they die after they are resurrected. Well, the Chaos Salamander sounds like something that I definitely like to have. Yes, yes, I want that. At least as an option, you know. But I still need something to keep my dudes alive somehow, because right now it's all about damage and no sustain, no long-term strategy here. That's bad. Oh, where you went, Kjorn? What's your new thing? Evoker? I was betting my thing. Oh, you went Pyromancer. Oh yeah, Pyromancer is sick. So much fun. I'm still using the Pyromancer to farm a lot, because it's just so freaking cozy and convenient to work with that. Definitely one of my favorite specializations, the Pyromancer. Riku X just got royal. Oh, congratulations. Well, I don't think does the royal have perks on its own? I never checked it out. I only know that the royal utilizes the perks of the other people. You kept your party from the siege master. Yeah, well, they are so highly refined. No, it can only get anointments. I was just wondering if the royal had some unique anointments there. So, metaphor. After an enemy takes damage from poison, burn, or blight, this would be something that we could consider. Your creatures take less damage for each debuff they have. Well, Plague Quack. No. 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 Yeah, the royal is basically the late game class. It's meant to be played when you're done with basically everything else. I guess, at least. So Pit Wraiths. Well, no. Pillwiz. So, let's see. What a weird one. So I think I already used a couple of those. Yeah, I'm already using the Pillwiz traits here. Okay, Brain Drain. That's a nice one. I want more of those, basically. Or is that... No. That's a too limited way to gain stats. That's limited on the power of my enemy, and it's probably not gonna be enough. It's most likely not gonna be enough. I need something more reliable. Oh my god. Hey Carnifex, welcome. Well, you gotta get there though first to fully utilize the royal. I think that's you deserve that then. By then you deserve that. Oh, sane. Well, there must be some nifty thing that we can still use that I haven't used yet. Something that synergizes just well with my methods here. Well, don't say only 260, Riku. That's already a lot. Arijas, hi there. So happy to see you. So, occultists are definitely not way to go, and neither are the Nyx Nihilist. Well, After my creatures attack, they have a chance to inflict with a random debuff. Now, maybe there's something in the, after this creature is killed. No, sadly not. Nephilim. I need something that works with my Defiler. Enjoy. No. This sounds so good, like 50% more from Cursed, but I think Cursed is just overrated. After an enemy casts a spell, this Scourge Mummy, that's what I like to see, actually. That's a free way of spreading Cursed and Vulnerable. Let's summon one. I want that trait. Definitely want that. I mean, I still don't know how I'm going to boost my own stats to win fights, but we're definitely gonna find a way. My creatures have 20% more attack and intelligence for each enemy that is cursed. That would be an option. Let's take that into consideration by summoning the mummy, so that I have a marker on that. So where were we? Mummy, wizards, Modrons. Well, I don't think that Modrons are something we're going to use. Mites. Oh yeah. Well, considering that, I mean, 10% of your current health, that would shred people with a lot of HP extremely hard. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll find something. After this creature attacks, it afflicts the target with a random debuff for each debuff. Well, no. Okay. Light spread, but nothing too nothing with a good widespread. The Web Weaver here, I don't know if it's really worth the effort, but I mean, it could. So let's, I mean, it is at least a very strong interaction with my kit. It does utilize the power of debuffs, if you want to say so. Because I want to get as much power out of debuffing people with this build. I think that's what the Defiler is about, you know? So, do you agree, Jorn? That's good. I find every specialization very interesting and challenging to build. The dwarf shop creatures. Oh, elementals. I mean, ailments and elementals goes close with each other. So we're probably going to look into that as well. Liches. Most likely not. Lepers, that could be a thing. After my creatures are afflicted with a debuff, no. Stag, we're already using that one. After this creature takes damage from an attack or a spell, it afflicts the enemy. No, it's theoretically interesting, but practically it's not that amazing. Okay, minion. Boost spells. I never looked into them too deep, actually, but thanks for the recommendations, guys. So, alright. Interacting with its own debuffs? No. No. Sadly, nothing in there. that's good for me here. Kraken, definitely no. Kolos. So Inquisitors are definitely nothing. Let's skip the Im and the Hunters altogether. I guess the Hounds are also not interesting. Hemomancer, no. Harpy, well, probably. Already used that one. The Harpy Marauder. Why am I not using that? So good, actually. I mean, blindness, and on my build, debuffs don't go off, so we definitely want that.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the follow, Blade Master. So happy to have you. Hope you enjoy the stay. Okay, so we're slowly getting there. I mean, there's a lot of room in this build. So Stone, Medusae. So at the start of battle, this creature afflicts enemies with stone. Found you on YouTube. Oh, nice. Thanks. So happy to hear that. Well, I just do my job, but I'm always happy to find some appreciation, and happy to hear that I was able to help. So, Gorgons. So the one that inflicts stone directly is just exactly what I want to have. The more debuffs I can have on the enemy from the first moment the fight starts, the better. So, enemy creatures deal less damage for each creature.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's and thanks for the follow, 8KMH. So happy to see you here as well. So probably want to use that as well. I'll summon one so that I have a marker on that. There's the Yetis. Oh yeah, good thing that you're mentioning the Yeti. I somehow I somehow forgot about them. So let's see, is there any? I don't know. This is appealing at the first glance, but not that important. Sure, more damage, but only 50%. It's not that much. Some god spawn. Need to summon more of those. Not there yet. Gemlings, ghouls. The dwarf questions? Oh man. I'm shocked how many of them I already answered correctly by now. I'm totally shocked. So we're possibly gonna be using stat booster spells. Really consider that more and more. Well, the Fae don't have anything. Oh, exotics. Now, let's check out if I have something nice here. I really like that new exotics section here. So far, not too interesting. Yes, they only come from the rainbow portals. Exactly. I mean, basically, they should have a card as well. I'm lately considering to try to get some hunting quests on and try to farm a card from those. You see that Abacus, I already have knowledge D on it. If I get C on it, I could start summoning it from the Divination Candle. And I wonder if exotics have card sets as well. Just a thought of mine. I'm pretty sure they have. So, well, there's not really anything too appealing here. The Ents, well, not this time. I guess they should have cards, so do I. So do I. Electropods. Yeah, well, the thing is, you only fight them once, and then you can only acquire knowledge via drops until you have accumulated enough to start a hunt quest. And then I think you could start considering farming their cards. So it's a task. It's a bigger task. So let's see, Ifrit. Well, there was nothing in there. It should be a normal Yeti. Well, I'm going to go over the Yeti at the end of this one, because they are at the end of the list, basically. Guards. Doom Fortress. Ginny. Diabolics. Devils. No. Demigods. Yeah, well, that wouldn't increase any speed. Okay. Is there any spell that increase all 4 stats at once? Does anybody know? Because with this build, I would need exactly that. Difficult. It's more difficult than I thought. Slimes. Oh yeah, they utilize Disarm. Let's see. Ooh, that's nice. I think it's a small and moderate increase. That's okay. I don't need anything with a massive impact. I need something that increases all the stats, because my damage is relying on the lowest stat, so they all have to increase. You know what I want to say. So the Disarm dudes, they aren't that interesting. The only interesting here so far would be the Squelch, but I don't want to pick a trade for that. So Cockatrice, no. Clutcher, no. Clockwork, no. Carob, no. Although that one sounds pretty appealing after I've died. But no. That was an accident. Carvers, no. Carnage. Carbuncles, brownies. So they don't have any interaction with any specific debuff here. Banshees, no. The gods, we already went over them. The automaton. Yes, I think I will keep the random debuff spreading automaton now that I think more closely about it. Aspects, no. Arbiters, no. Arachnolisks. Let's check out the Arachnolisks. Maybe there's one really interesting thing among them. So, snared and poison is their specialty. So, well, I could spread bleed into poison as well. That's the only thing. And, well, here I could, well, let's see, if I have slots open, which I highly doubt. Animations, Amphisbana, Amaran, Abomination. Oh, Abominations could be something, because we have weak and vulnerable interactions. Not really, hey? Nothing too special, so let's get into the Yeti section. Alright, this one. Ugh, well, nothing too appealing, honestly, sadly. Okay, we're going to remove these dudes here entirely, both of them. So we're going to unequip this artifact, and what's the trait on this artifact? Temperance. Oh yes, that's also a very important one. Okay, but the good news is it's gonna work out nevertheless. So let's see. Okay, what do we want to have? I really like the ones that spread some conditions from the get-go. That was one of the Gorgons. Here, Gorgon Trickster. Let's combine that with the other dude that spreads the other condition as well. Forgotten which one that was, but we're gonna find it. So after an enemy casts a spell, oh yeah. I was considering that one too. Ah, Viscous Webs, I was considering this one as well. Puzz and Pox. I already had that in my team, if I remember correctly. Here, and the Harpy Marauder. Let's fuse these together right away. And let's level that up. Our team needs some level ups too. And let's put one of these artifacts back on. I think this one was here. Okay. Now, let's see, what did I have beyond that summoned? I know there was more. So, enemy creatures deal 10% less damage with attacks for each creature with stone. Definitely want that, because, you know, we have stone now standard as a standard implementation. So, absolutely want to have that. And, well, let's take that Doom Mummy, I'd say. No, I don't want that. It's not really that interesting. It sounds good on paper that my creatures have more attack and intelligence for each cursed enemy, but it doesn't really get me that far. No, we're going to fuse the Might Web Weaver. Because I think this actually does a lot. Okay. Now, so Temperance. Okay, I got still 2 great slots open. Yeah, Puzz and Pox I already had. Enemies with Curse take more damage from this debuff, so this one I wanted to replace probably. This one I like. Okay, let's just check that out for a moment, how it works out now. This should basically be already pretty amazing. Let's see. I know it's a little bit shy to not even go for higher instabilities yet, but... Oh, you guys, you're supposed to cast Affliction. What do I have beyond that? Alright, but so far so good. But how do we get that thing to scale, you know? That's what I'm really wondering now. I mean, it does deal a pretty decent amount of damage. What's the macro behind right now? Macro 2. So I think the best way of getting some scaling into that thing will be to just use spells for that. I somehow don't see myself too able to get any mechanics in there trade-wise that will get the job done. Don't know. Right now, I just see massive damage on the enemies just from the first moment on. Pretty good. But, I mean, this is zero instability, so it's not really too descriptive. But we do deal tons of damage by just afflicting enemies with random conditions. It's amazing. This dude doesn't take that much damage. Okay. So, just need to find out which spell we're going to need for the stat increase. I think this is very, very important. Oh, anointments, of course, Hyorin. You're so right. I totally forgot about those. Thank you for the reminder. No, I'm not purposefully using none. I'm just derpy. Okay, so, well, I do like how much damage it deals all on its own already. This is pretty solid start, I'd say. I mean, basically whenever the enemy gets a turn, they immediately get damaged by that. This is pretty good. And the spells I'm using are adding more and more debuffs onto the enemy, so the situation is only getting worse. I think I only need moderate stat increases because I got so many effects that diminish the power of the enemy on its own that a slight increase of my own power will have a lot more impact than with other builds. Because, you know, I got this, I got so many things going on there. Steel, hi there. So happy to see you. For example, I got, here, more damage dealt and less damage taken for every enemy that bleeds. Same for stoned, and there's I need more of these mechanics. Basically as many as possible of those. The last thing is just how am I going to survive. Right now you see no defenses whatsoever on this build, and this is making me kind of nervous, honestly. This is not really a good thing. But I'm really happy with this first sketch so far. Gonna be right back, my friends, with some fresh tea. See you in a sec.
You're welcome. This is very personal.
Purple... okay, my voice was not with me as early as I thought. Siralim, thank you so much for another month of support. Is it already 10 months? Amazing. If you would have asked me, you just resubbed a week ago. Crazy. Always there, yeah. That's so nice. Hero's Blessing. Good stuff. Oh, man. I hope you guys had a good start into the week. We had a nice start today. We baked a ton of cookies. Like most of the time of the afternoon today. The kindergarten was closed today, so we had another family day. And it was a good one. Pretty stressful nevertheless, but at least a good time. Okay, so I can't resist here right now to start farming some pill whiz. Here we go. Because I'm really liking the kill speed of this build, you know? We do a lot of damage here in the first turn. That's fun here. And the baking part is actually totally my wife's dominion. I'm totally cooking at home. Basically everything at home, which is meal cooking, is mine, but baking is totally her territory, and she's really, really good at it. No, Steel. There should be always time to make some tea. Well, I was a coffee drinker before that, so I can't relate, honestly. I had a very long, extended coffee period. Only recently went back into black tea. So yeah, this is already pretty good. Let's pick some anointments, and I don't know. Do you guys have any good ideas what we should or could pick here still? Just wonder what I could or should add. Basically, I think the more traits I can fit in that directly abuse the enemy's stats, the debuffs, the better. Yeah. Well, Huron, I think I can only decide for real after I went down into a tier 5 instability. I think right now this team is way too squishy to survive later or in harder environments. And I need some spell to boost up the team. That's another thing. So, 7 enemies. Well, we gotta check how squishy it really comes out, because there's one thing. This team does lower the impact of the enemy tremendously. So basically, their numbers might be low, but effectively those numbers are weighing a lot more, in theory. Let's see how that idea holds up in practice. But first, let's slaughter a couple of pillars. Almost forgot how many level. Yeah, well, the divination candle is basically my best buddy whenever I want to grind something. Yay! We got it. Nice. It's the whole idea of multipliers. Doesn't mean much when the base stats aren't good enough. Well, let's see. I think all the thinking is for naught. We'll have to find out by practice. But I'm pretty sure that I'll need something there. The smogs, yeah. Definitely a good idea. They are around poison. So I think the small buff of everything was a life spell, wasn't it? Or a nature spell. That Omni stat gain, I think it was nature. Abundance in nature. Thank you, Riku. Here we go. We need that one. Do I have a nature critter? Yes, I do. Wonderful. So let's upgrade abundance for generosity and chance to cast twice. Hell yeah! And let's upgrade that. No, enchant that. Or more. 2 more stat gain. This only applies to the main creature it's wielding it, and which is wielding it, but whatever. I mean, could be worse, you know. I'm also very happy with tonight's playlist. So there we go. So these dudes have very low HP stats. My god, I need to change some tempers here. Okay. Now, let's do that again with instability 5. So, no anointments first. That would be silly to go again without. So, I don't have any... Oh, I have fixed signs equipped, so... If my critters have less than 80% health, they get some free healing. I always like that one. So, Stellar Blessing. That one I unlocked lately. Well, only if I'll need it. I really love that one. That's just one of my favorite traits from the astrologer. Because basically, you will only want to have your high intelligence dudes cast spells most of the time. Fixed signs is also pretty strong, yeah. I like Stellar Blessing, but I think for this build it ain't interesting. So, Kabbalist. Ethereal gems have more potency. I'll equip that, because we're using generosity gems here, so... My creatures are immune to Blighted. My creatures take less damage for each buff. No, not utilizing that. Echo, yes. Yes, just yes. You know? My whole strategy is revolving around spellcasts a lot. And I love Shining Force, you know? Starting battles with Rebirth is just amazing in my experience. It did a lot for me. So my creatures are immune to Confused. And the best offense, no. So we're not gonna use that one. So we're going to use the Confusion immunity. It's not that appealing, or wait a sec, I'm going to use the rather use the Blight immunity then. All right, so let's give it a first try. Ah, wrong button. So well. Rebirth buff on the enemy. Now that sucks, but I'm gonna try it nevertheless. Yeah, I love starting with Rebirth so much. I got used to it so much right now. It's one of those anointments that I'll have trouble playing without once I got more anointments, you know. Okay. So far, what's happening is my creatures take almost no damage whatsoever. Affliction is now being cast tons of times. The enemy is overloaded with debuffs. It's all good stuff. Yeah, creatures with Dispel. Oh yeah. Usually they don't. The AI doesn't use Dispel a lot though, for whatever reason that is. Okay, so we're now out of spell gems. No affliction got sealed. Ah, okay. Chaos Rift is such a fun thing. My creatures gain random traits. Okay, we're not exactly killing fast here, but this realm also less damage taken, less damage dealt, and rebirth. I'd say I have a proper excuse for not being able to take down my enemies in time. So, spread that abundance. So I probably could use something that enhances my auto attacks a bit. Probably should smack some chance of debuffs onto my artifacts whenever I attack. Oh yeah, arena. Lately, when I was doing my 10 things to do in the late game video, that was the first time that I truly tried to win the arena. I failed horribly. I'm so bad at drafting things. Always have been. Okay, so this place is boring. I want to get out of here. I hate it here. There's just too much damage reduction on these dudes. But one thing I did realize, and that's my critters weren't really exactly dying super quickly here or anything. So, crazily enough, we're just nuking them. Okay, nice. Spooky. Yeah, that was just too much damage reduction altogether on that realm. But beyond that, my god, is that effective? Okay, I actually didn't expect such a success here. So now we just need to think about the longevity of this build, and then we should be really good to go. The only thing that I really am troubled right now is that this will not really have lots of damage in the long run. But then again, we got abundance, you know? So probably I should do one thing, though. I need some trigger to make my fights last longer, but there's one thing that I just realized. I would just need to add in that one carbuncle that's giving me free spell casts once we have cast, I don't know, 7 or 12 spells in a fight. And once this is rolling, I can do whatever utility I need to do with spells that I have equipped. I think it was 12, yeah. But, you know, I am already casting, I don't know, every one of these dudes is casting 2 afflictions on his own. So that's already 12 spells. And they all got these afflictions from their from their buddy there. No, it's only 5, not 6. The 6th dude can't cast himself. But that's already 10 spells for free. And that dude number 6 is spreading his gems not only as one charge copies, but as multi-charge copies. So we have these at every single fight available. Does the Defiler have something to regain spell gems if they apply debuffs? Sadly no. Sadly no. That would be sick. Oh yeah, treasure golem, you will be molten, I wanted to say, but I am super happy to see how effing much damage this build does by merely applying debuffs. This is amazing. No, I took the wrong stab. Come on, dude. There we go. Finally. So... why is this dude immune against debuffs right now? I don't see the reason why my debuffs got prevented treasure golem. So you can't debuff a treasure golem, or what's the case here? Strange. I don't see the reason for the, Okay. Weird. So obviously I'm not capable of killing that dude, because he's totally immune against debuffs. That's tragic. I never knew that these are entirely immune against debuffs. Strikes me as something new. Yo, why are these... Ah, the Wyvern are these interceptors. Yeah, okay, so, wow. Yeah, Wyvern are a problem for this build, because they can just take my debuffs and throw them back at me, which was kind of like deadly. So come on, let's try a Nether Boss realm, why not? You know, random stress testing this build. Okay. So the chance to resist damage thing is always, I think that's one of the traits that I want to avoid on realms. Okay. I've already been here once and cleared out the Master. I'd be very surprised if I'd be able to take down the Nether Boss here, but you know, I want to know where this thing falls flat. I don't mind that the Wyverns actually killed this build because they just flung the conditions back at them. Okay, let's see. Spamming Affliction here. So we nuked the Fallen God right away, so I guess we won. Wonderful. Okay, so I just nuked a tier 5 instability Nether boss. Okay. Decent. Let's spread some abundance. Make our spells hit a little bit harder. So let's see. Yeah. Traits, the stats aren't too high at all, but totally okay with how it works out here. Okay. Sick. The only issue I see so far is the enemies are not exactly eager to die. Okay, let's pull some Chaos Rifts here. And get ourselves some army of traits going. Maybe this will help. I mean, we got that heal every turn thing going on their side. That's just making a lot of problems right now. Why are they so insanely beefy, though? Maybe anybody know? Okay, I might be actually losing this because of that. Because I'm totally not seeing how I'm able to deal enough damage to kill these dudes. Okay. This one just exploded for no obvious reason whatsoever. Nice. Let's use the Dispel. Probably good's gonna work out. I really need some better options to spread debuffs without spells, but okay. 130 million direct attack there, just... okay. For a not optimized build, that was brilliant. 130 million, yeah. Or maybe I didn't see it correctly, let's see. Yes, Centaur Duelist took 130 million damage. Blight. What the heck? That was not a attack. That was that was Blight. Okay. Bad. Seriously, not bad. If this realm wouldn't have had this damage avoidance and heal per turn mechanic, I would have nuked these dudes a lot faster. Okay, what we're going to meld onto this? Are you kidding me? I just beat your your record here. Oh my god. Okay, Defiler is a lot stronger than I thought. So we're going to... I'll have to check out my fusion box and see what kind of critters we got there still. I mean, obviously I still got room here. So what's really the most surprising part about this here is the fact that due to the entirety of the debuffs, my enemies don't seem to be able to deal too much damage on their own. Like, my dudes don't have too much going on for themselves, but we're totally killing it. It's really weirding me out a bit. Really expected to be under more pressure from the enemy side, but, well, there's not exactly any pressure from the enemies here. Okay, and I thought my Pyro was nice. But I think there's still gonna be some issue with the squishiness here in general. Yeah, so basically, I think I want that that carbuncle that makes my spells free after a while. I think this is one thing that my build will benefit massively from, because once that condition is met, every ethereal spell gem out there will evolve into an endless source of utility. And I think that's how I'm going to play my cards in the long run. Let's see. I don't see any better idea. You know, this way I can't just spam abundance forever, basically. And outscale the hell out of my enemy. So, let's see. I had fusions all with everybody already. So, I totally underestimated the importance of this one. Oh, totally. I don't know if I follow you correctly here right now. If I give them generous, they will still run out. I need the carbuncle to have endless spellcasts. That was the thought behind that. Generosity would be spreading these spells then to the entirety of the team. I could cast 12 ethereal gems for free. Yeah. I mean, this dude here does the trick basically for me, because he copies the spell gems and the afflictions are present. I'd rather use the generosity copies than after I've already met the threshold. At least that was the plan. So... I'm not sure. So this dude is perfect. I don't want to change him. But this dude here... I don't like Sorrow, honestly. This feels like a very weak trait to me. So let's create a new Amphisbaena vaccinator and fit him with something else. That carbuncle that I had in mind. Here. Oh no, that's immunity to debuffs. Oh, that's only exclusive for one creature. Dang, no. But that doesn't do the trick. Okay, well... Nevertheless, I want to take that one in, because debuffs were actually killing my team once in a while here and there. And this will be definitely more powerful than the stuff that I got right now. Let's take that. So... Immunity against debuffs is also very, very juicy, I'd say. Definitely stronger than this one. So that trick didn't really work out, didn't it? So we got 2 more slots open. I think let's check out our friends, the occultists. Maybe they got something for us here. I wonder... Okay, after my creatures cast a sorcery spell. Okay. That won't really work out. So... Where was the smog? There was the smog. So... not really. Those traits around the poison weren't too exciting there. Sadly. So, wasn't there something back here? Whoops. No, they weren't working around charges, weren't they? Ah, too bad. Would have been too easy, wouldn't it? Let's check out the guilds. That could be also an option. Seraphim. Centaur Khan. Oh, okay, that's a nice one. But also not too intrigued here. Carver, Apocalypse, Chaos Blades. Nyx Exile. Okay. So there's not really much that I can do right now on top of what I already got. I think we gained a lot with this debuff immunity there. Debilitating blast. Small amount of damage for each debuff. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll find something that we really can use. But it doesn't really look like. Well. I'm surprised how finished this build already feels, you know? Although I feel as if there could be a lot of improvements still. I'm merely not seeing the options, basically. There must be more, that's all I want to say. Well, okay. I mean... Oh, okay. I got one problem, though. I ain't got any life creature anymore. So, let's see. Confusion. Now that's a nice one too. I mean, there would be also the option to work with wolves and use a lot of debuff spreading spells at the beginning of the fight. $14 charges less. I don't think I want to take that. So, Hyorin, what's the update? Okay. Okay, so, it sounds as if your team was just extremely kick-ass altogether. Gotta say. If you still keep killing stuff that's beyond you. Oh, I know what we're going to do. We're going to equip this this anointment from the astrologer. The one with the stellar blessing. And this way, I will have 3 critters that will always be available for me and my scaling. That's brilliant. That's the easiest way to get the job done without... yeah, that's how we're going to do it. I like the idea. And it's even perfect. It's even more perfect when I think about the fact that I got this carbuncle now that makes my critters immune against debuffs in general. So I won't be needing that anointment against blight? Yes, it was blight anymore. So, win-win. I like that. I really like that. That's a really good solution. Also relieves this pressure from me that my spell gems will at some point run out. Because they won't. This way, we never will have any issues with this. And I like the idea of that. Because basically, as far as I see things here, all this build needs to do is spam Abundance and Affliction and keep this team alive. And they will win out of that. it's quite sick. So, what I think, in the long run, could be a wise option here would be damage over time. So maybe I will get back into the smogs and stuff like that. So Spellmain Master. Because I see a pretty big option there in damage over time as like a third pillar to stand on, you know? A last option of damage over time after I've seen those crazy 130 million points of blight damage. I mean, sure, that was something else, but you get the idea. We do induce a lot of conditions here, and capitalizing on one of those, poison or burn. I mean, I still got 2 trade slots open, and I'm not happy with the harpy that inflicts confusion with a 20% chance. I don't like this. This is for me not strong enough. So here we have the combination of extra health and less damage taken again. It's horrible when they do this. Yeah, that's what happens when my critters run out of charges for affliction. And that won't happen in the future anymore. Oh, I think the new creature... Oh yeah, the new dude hasn't got his proper thingy yet, so let's just forfeit that. Yeah, this dude needs the macro assignment. Okay, so we're going to swap the anointment here. This is so good. I like that a lot. So now the only question is, who are my 3 critters with the highest intelligence? But, well, we're going to find out nevertheless. So now a couple of things. We ain't got no Requiem yet. You know, there's your team ain't complete without at least 1 copy of Requiem. I insist on that. So we're going to equip that on a Chaos critter. Got it. So, generous, swap the chaos, and more charges. Here we go. So this dude even has... Oh my god. Can do this like that. Wow. There's another thing that I wanted to know. So... This trait of his copies the spells, so I want to know if it truly copies them, you know? Chance to cast after attacking. Duration, we don't need that. Cast a chance twice, hell yeah. And... let's see. See what happens if this thing is generous on top of that. I think that's gonna be totally stupid, but I want to know whether or not it works or not. So... resistant to debuffs. Let's try that out. Yeah, but they aren't ethereal, Joran. They are copied. Because this trait here... your creatures gain copies of this creature's non-ethereal spell gems. That's why I am asking myself this so specifically. That's why I modded this spell. You know, it could be or it couldn't be. It's a very interesting question in my opinion. So we got damage reflection going on here, so it's probably not playable. So let's see. We got a copy of Affliction, but the copy does not have the traits. Okay, that wouldn't. That does make sense. It would have been a really little bit stupid if this would be copied with all its extra perks. But you know, I had to try. I think that's understandable, isn't it? I wonder. I think I could just do one trick to increase the amount of spell charges here very easily too. And that would be by basically equipping more Affliction spell gems onto that dude. More copies, more charges. Easy. Okay. So, my Defiler rocks. I mean, it ain't the most powerful thing yet, but it works. That's it's honestly more than surprising to me. I didn't really expect anything here. So I will look through the spell roster one more time, off camera though, in peace and quiet, because I want to know, I'm pretty sure that there's at least one spell out there, at least one damaging spell that has a component which increases the damage for every debuff the enemy is suffering from. I'd bet that there's a spell like that out there, and that would be the ideal damage spell for this build. I'd be very, very surprised if there would be no spell that's interacting like that. So this is a very hard realm here. We got extra defenses and damage reflection. That's a really... I don't know if we're actually going to be able to take that, but resistance to debuffs definitely doesn't do anything against my game plan. Nothing at all changed. The only thing that has changed is that I don't really do that much damage. But beyond that, totally tackling everything here. Easily. Man, I didn't expect to have such a easy show today. Happy. Oh, Usuros, I didn't sacrifice. So I'm pretty sure as soon as I have ironed out a couple of things, with the Abundance spell, I think this build should be able to just spiral into extreme power, basically. Alright. The good old Nyx. They're totally annihilating me. Yeah, but it has definite weaknesses so far. Yeah, I'm not too surprised about the Nyx giving me there. So, let's see. I bet there's a spell out there. Very, very sad that we died there. So there's one more thing that I didn't check out here, and that's the Nethermancer. Let's see. So probably I'll find something nice here. These are all so crazy. So... It doesn't look like there's anything interesting here so far. Too bad. Oh well, some damage over time things are happening here, but beyond that... Oh well. So, some max HP gain would be definitely something this team would totally profit from. Because I noticed that they really suffer from being very squishy HP-wise. But on the other hand, the Nyx assassins are just, what can I say, notorious in taking down teams like that. Because they turn off your traits, and when your traits are turned off, you're very much more easily killable. But, well, that's okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just working out really decently so far. Already considering this as a farm build here. Because it definitely sounds like a fun alternative to my Pyromancer. So now I would like to have a more dangerous and lengthy fight to check out whether or not this build works out in something like a Fool's God fight or something like that too. But I am quite positive, actually. I might be needing something to convert healing into max HP or something like that. One of the Kolos could do that for me. There's a very simple solution which transforms, I think, 5% of the healing gained into max HP. That would be one thing. But let's see. Probably I just need to spam abundance in situations like those. It's also perfectly possible. Okay. But so far, the turn length is pretty enjoyably low, honestly. Yay! Level up with Volcanar. Nice. So I wonder what will happen when I get more of these gods onto higher levels. Does anybody know when they're at the end? Is it 50 or 100? Mimic Master. I've never seen that one before. Anybody seen that ever before? You don't know that one yet? Me neither. It's the first time that I see that, dude. Cool. So, I love it how this game keeps whipping out something new every time. So if the creatures in your party are mimics, they have a chance to start battles at the top of the timeline. Okay. It's new. It wasn't the achievements, but implemented in the last big patch. Ah, I see. That explains a lot. So now you could make... Are there so many mimics that you could make an entire team out of? I thought there were only two, the Mimic and the Pandora. Yo, why aren't you dying? So let's slam out a couple of abundance spells here. Let's see. Somebody will not use charges here. Okay. Why don't they take damage? Yeah, Mimics already start on top. Well, that's only true for the OG Mimic. Let's call him like that. The Mimic has this trait. But the other Mimic I know, the Pandora, doesn't have that. So... Yo, why aren't they dying? Does anybody of those say trait that in... So, yeah, tons of temporary traits. I bet somebody has this trait that neutralizes indirect damage. Oh no, they just debuffed the hell out of the intelligence of my critters, that's why. Ah yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's just very, very annoying. This would take forever. So stat decrease is a problem. Okay. Sure. Since all of my damage is revolving around this this low 80% of my lowest stat, as soon as somebody is actively lowering my stats, I'm totally screwed. So, I mean, there's a spell against that. I've seen that. But I mean, instabilities basically... I haven't played a single build yet that was able to clear all instabilities no matter what. There have been always combos of environmental effects that always kicked my butt. So I won't be taking that too serious here. Everything has a weakness after all, and that's good. Well, well. Now that's fun. So one of the next things that I have on my list is refitting also my cleric, because I've seen a couple of really good ideas today in the Discord revolving around Blight. I think Joran, you were in the talk with Josh Allen. That dude is really helpful. Don't know if he's hanging around here tonight, but... Yeah, so some sort of stability would be fitting for this build. Yeah, I like the idea so much that I'm going to steal it. Jokes aside, this is just that one idea that I didn't come up by myself. How I could make my cleric more oomphy again, because my cleric felt a little bit weak lately. All right. But we're sailing through really nasty domains here. I mean, this instability here has 150% more damage taken and 150% more damage dealt. So we're taking basically 300% more damage here, and we're still surviving it quite decently. It's amazing. Really amazing. More resilience in it than I thought. Way more than I thought. Nice. So I feel as if we'd only need to add in a couple of extra elements and this will go totally bonkers. Oh, you're doing gates? Nice. Where do you take all the keys, man? So what do the Pillows do? More damage from bleeding, take double damage chance, and bleeding debuff lasts forever. Well, it's pretty underwhelming compared to other sets, honestly. Yay! Lots of trait material. I love it. Always so happy to find these. So, my dear friends, it is that stupid time again where I have to say goodnight. You had 67 Ks when you started? Okay, not bad. I mean, I kind of like permagrind them. I always have that project going. Always got keys in the crafting because I figure that you can't have too many of those. So, at least that's my take on it. Anywho, my dear friends, thank you all so much for the good company. We had a lot of people tonight around here. And yeah, we're going to see what we're up to tomorrow. And I hope you all have a good night, or whatever time it will be when you're watching this. See you soon, everybody. Have a good time. Bye-bye.